It's negative 12 degrees out here. The wind is absolutely howling, and I've got about 3 hours of daylight left to build myself a shelter, or I am in serious trouble tonight. No tent, no sleeping bag, just what else, and this pack, and about 6 feet of snow between me and a very cold night. Let's see if I can pull this off. First things first, I need to find the right spot to dig. Not every snowbank is gonna work for a survival shelter. I'm looking for a consolidated snow, the kind that's been packed down by the wind over weeks, sometimes months. You want to drift on the leeward side of a ridge where the wind drops the snow and compresses it tight. This spot right here looks perfect. The depth feels like about 6 to 7 feet, which is more than enough. See those trees over there? They're gonna act as a natural windbreak, and since the wind is coming from the northwest, I'll face the entrance toward the southeast, so the wind won't blow straight into the shelter all night. Alright, time to start digging. A lot of people think you need fancy gear to build a snow shelter, but you really don't. I'm using a small folding shovel that weighs about 1.5 pounds. That's it. This little thing is gonna move a mountain of snow over the next few hours. The first part is always the hardest. I'm digging an entrance tunnel that slopes slightly upward into the main chamber. Cold air sinks, so I want my sleeping area to be higher than the entrance. That way, the coldest air settles in the tunnel and not where I'm trying to sleep. Oh, I'm already starting to sweat, which is actually dangerous in these temperatures. Wet clothing can kill you out here faster than the cold itself. The moisture wicks heat right out of your body, so even though it feels counterintuitive, I'm stripping off an outer layer to keep from overheating. I'm about 4 feet in now, and you can feel the snow getting harder as I go deeper. This is that compacted stuff I was hoping for. It holds its shape beautifully. Perfect for carving. Oh, come on now. A chunk of snow just dropped right down the back of my neck. I'll tell you what, that never stops being startling. Every single time I build one of these, a piece falls and scares me half to death. Even after building dozens of these shelters over the years, it still makes me flinch. But here's the thing, once the snow settles like that, it actually becomes more stable. That initial settling is the snow locking into place. Still don't love it though. Alright, I'm about 6 feet in now. Time to start widening this out into the main chamber. The trick here is to work in layers. Small amounts at a time instead of taking big chunks. Big chunks mean big collapses. Small cuts. Nice and steady. That's how you stay safe. See how I'm shaping this ceiling into a dome? That's not just for looks. A dome distributes weight evenly across the entire structure. It's incredibly strong. Same principle as an igloo. There's several feet of packed snow above me right now. But with this shape, stable as a house. Well, stable-ish. Now I've got a good-sized chamber, but I still need a sleeping platform. This might be the most important part of the whole shelter. Right now, the floor is level with the entrance tunnel. If I slept here, I'd be lying in the coldest air all night. Cold air is heavier than warm air, so it sinks and pools at the lowest point. So I'm carving out a platform about 18 inches higher than the entrance level. When I'm up here, I'll be sleeping in the warmer air that naturally reses inside the shelter. Physics doing me a favor for once. I'll tell you what, my arms are really feeling this now. I've moved a massive amount of snow already, but it's worth it. This platform is the difference between a miserable night and actually getting some sleep. Alright, quick breather. My fingers are starting to go a little numb. Need to warm them up before I lose dexterity. Come on, come on. There we go. Feelings coming back. Okay. Back to work. Still got important stuff to do. One of the most critical steps is ventilation. A lot of people skip this. And honestly, that's how people die in snow shelters. I'm using a trekking pole to punch a small hole straight through the ceiling to the surface. This lets fresh air in and carbon dioxide out. There we go. See that beam of light coming through? That means I'm through to the surface. That hole is maybe 2 inches wide, but it could save my life tonight. Without ventilation, you can use up the oxygen in one of these things surprisingly fast. Plus, your body and your breathing produce carbon dioxide that needs somewhere to go. I'll need to check on this hole throughout the night. Sometimes they freeze shut if there's moisture in the air. Gotta keep it clear. The final step is smoothing out the walls and ceiling. This takes a while, but it's worth it. See all these bumps and ridges? Every one of those is a potential drip point. When my body heat warms up this space, the snow on the ceiling starts to melt just slightly. On a rough surface, that moisture forms droplets and drips straight down, right onto your face at 3 in the morning, on a smooth, curved surface. The water runs down the walls, instead of dripping on you. Ask me how I learned that lesson. Actually, don't. It was a long, wet, cold night. Never made that mistake again. Well, I'll tell you what. This is home for the night, and it's not bad. Not bad at all. There's plenty of room to stretch out, sit up, and move around. Even now, just being out of the wind, it already feels dramatically warmer in here. That 6 feet of snow above me is acting like a giant blanket, insulating me from the brutal cold outside. Let me give you the key dimensions here. The entrance tunnel is about 6 feet long and just big enough to crawl through. You don't want it any bigger than necessary. Smaller entrance means less heat loss. The main chamber is roughly 7 feet wide, 8 feet long, and about 4 feet tall at the highest point of the dome. The sleeping platform sits 18 inches above the entrance level, and there's nearly 5 feet of solid snow between that ceiling and the surface. In total, I moved roughly 10 cubic yards of snow. That's about what a full-size dump truck holds, all with this little shovel. My shoulders are definitely gonna feel this tomorrow. I earned my dinner tonight. Speaking of dinner, let's get some hot food going. I'm cooking right here at the entrance of the shelter, not inside the main chamber. Carbon monoxide from the stove needs somewhere to go. Out here at the entrance, it vents into the open air. Inside that chamber, it could build up and become a serious problem. Tonight's menu is freeze-dried beef stew. Nothing fancy, just one of those backpacking meals. But after 4 hours of digging in negative 12-degree temperatures, this is gonna taste like the best meal I've ever had. While this heats up, let me share a few survival lessons. First, your shelter doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to work. I've seen people spend so much time trying to make everything beautiful that they run out of daylight and end up in a dangerous situation. Get it functional first. You can always improve it later, if you have time. Second, and this is a big one, insulation from the ground matters more than insulation from the air. The snow underneath you will suck heat out of your body through conduction way faster than the cold air will. That's why I've got a foam pad up there on the sleeping platform, and I gathered some evergreen branches to layer underneath it. That barrier between you and the ground is absolutely crucial. Third lesson, always change into dry clothes before sleeping. All that sweating I did while digging, that moisture is still in my base layers right now. If I sleep in these, I'll be cold and clammy all night. Gotta swap into dry clothes once I'm done eating. These little details are what separate a miserable night from a survivable one. Maybe even a comfortable one. Oh, the water's boiling. Perfect. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. I'll tell you what, there's something about eating a hot meal inside a shelter you built with your own hands. Just hits different. The sense of accomplishment mixed with the warmth spreading through your body. It's hard to describe, but if you've experienced it, you know exactly what I mean. I'm completely blocked from the wind in here. It's probably 30 degrees warmer than outside just from the insulation and getting out of the wind chill. The temperature outside right now is negative 12. Inside this shelter, it's hovering right around 20 degrees. Still below freezing, obviously. But compared to what's happening outside, this feels like luxury. Alright, time to set up the sleep system and get ready for night. Foam pad goes down first on the sleeping platform. This creates a barrier between me and the snow. Without this, I'd lose body heat all night. Through conduction, I also gathered these evergreen branches earlier. Extra insulation, plus they smell amazing. Little bit of nature's aromatherapy. No, I said no sleeping bag, and I meant it. What I do have is an emergency bivy. It's basically a heavy-duty space blanket shaped like a bag. Reflects your body heat back at you. It's not as good as a real sleeping bag, but in a pinch, it works. Combined with the shelter keeping the wind off me, I should be okay tonight. Sean V. One more trick before I settle in. Hot water bottle. Oldest trick in the book. I fill this up with boiling water, cap it tight, and tuck it near my feet inside the bivy. It'll radiate heat for hours. By morning it'll be cool, but by then I'll have made it through the coldest part of the night. Those hours right before dawn are always the worst. All right. Dry clothes on. Big difference already. Those wet layers were slowly pulling heat out of me. Now I actually feel warm. Well, here it goes. Nothing moment of truth. Can I actually sleep buried under 6 feet of snow with no tent and no real sleeping bag? You know what's weird? It's so quiet in here. Like, unnaturally quiet. The snow just absorbs every sound. I can hear my own heartbeat. That's about it. Complete silence. Otherwise, it's supposed to storm overnight. More snow coming through. We'll see what I wake up to, assuming I actually sleep at all. Good night, I guess. Oh. Okay. I'm alive. That was actually not bad. Surprisingly not bad. I woke up maybe twice during the night. Once, when my hip got sore from the platform. Once when I thought I heard something crack above me, but was still here. Ceiling hasn't come down on me. 7 hours of sleep. In a snow, cave in negative temps. I'll take it. Let me check. Oh. Well, that's a lot of new snow. The entrance is almost completely blocked. I basically need to dig myself out of here. Hold on. Almost. There we go. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what. That is a lot of snow. That's gotta be 2 feet of fresh powder. At least, probably more in the drifts. Everything looks completely different than when I went to sleep. The whole landscape transformed overnight. Yep, I'm sinking to my thighs with every step, even with snowshoes on. We're swimming today. The shelter is almost invisible now. Just this tiny, dark hole in the middle of nowhere. If you didn't know it was there, you'd walk right past it without a second glance. The ceiling looks good from out here, though. No visible sagging despite all that new snow weight. The dome shape did its job. All right, time to answer the question everyone always asks me. Can a snow shelter actually collapse? I'm standing directly above where I slept last night. About 5 feet of snow between me and that sleeping platform. Let's test this thing. Feels solid. No movement at all. Let me try harder. Still nothing. I'm about 185 with all this gear on, jumping up and down, and this thing is not budging at all. Let's see how far we can push this. Come on. There we go. See that? Starting to give a little. Okay, there's the failure point. But look at this. It's only the outer edge that collapsed. The dome itself is still holding strong. That's the thing about a properly built shelter. Even when it starts to fail, it doesn't completely cave in. The dome shape distributes the force across the whole structure. These things are much stronger than people expect. I wouldn't recommend jumping on your shelter as a general rule, though. But it's good to know the safety margins are there. So the answer is yes. Snow shelters can collapse. Eventually, all of them do, given enough time. But a properly built one takes a lot of abuse before it fails. And even then, you're looking at partial failure, not total, catastrophic collapse. That said, always keep your shovel within arm's reach when you sleep. Just in case. Alright, time to pack up and head back to the car. I've got about 2 miles through all of this deep snow. Should be interesting, even with snowshoes. I'm sinking about knee-deep with every step. The fresh powder is so light and fluffy there's nothing to grip. I'm basically swimming through it. This is the kind of workout no gym can prepare you for. The car should be right up here past these trees. Oh no, that's my car. Under all of that, I can barely see the antenna poking out. Okay, we've got some serious digging to do. Good thing I still had this shovel with me. 30 minutes just to find the door handle. Another 45 to clear around the wheels, enough to even attempt driving. Come on. Come on. Yes. Engine started. Was really worried about the battery in this cold. Alright. Let's see if we can move. Wheels are spinning. Going nowhere. Yeah, that's about right. The road isn't plowed. I've got maybe 100 yards of fresh snow between me and the main road. Only one way to do this. Gun it. Get 20 feet. Get stuck. Dig out. Repeat. This is gonna take forever. Wait. Is that? No way. A guy in a big pickup truck with a plow blade, just out clearing the forest roads after the storm. He saw my tracks going in yesterday and figured someone might need help getting out. One pull with a tow strap and I was free. Thank you so much, man. Seriously. You saved me hours of digging. People out here really do look out for each other. That's one of the things I love about the backcountry community. I'd still be stuck if he hadn't come along. I'll tell you what. There is nothing like truck heat after spending the night in a snow cave at -12 degrees. My fingers are finally coming back to life. The shelter worked exactly like it was supposed to. Stayed warm all night. Survived the storm. Didn't collapse. Even with 2 feet of new snow on top of it. Could I have done it with even less gear? Maybe. Would I want to? Absolutely not. You made it. We watched the weather all night. That storm was crazy. Yeah, it got pretty intense up there, but the shelter held. Are you okay? Are you frozen? I'm good. Tired. Hungry. But good. Come inside. I made soup. That sounds absolutely perfect right now. And this right here. This is why you come home. Don't get me wrong. The adventure is incredible. Testing yourself against the elements. Building something with your own 2 hands. Surviving the night on your skills and decisions. But this, coming back to warmth, to family, to a hot bowl of soup and people who are worried about you. This is the best part. I think that's what makes the adventure worth doing in the first place. Knowing what you're coming back to. Well guys, that was one night under 6 feet of snow with no tent, just a shovel, some know-how, and a whole lot of digging. The shelter worked great, premedita yet warm, and I made it home, safe and sound. That's a win in my book. If you ever want to try building a snow shelter yourself, start small. Practice during the day when the stakes are low. Work your way up to an overnight stay once you're confident in your skills. Remember the basics. Raise your sleeping platform above the entrance level. Always add a ventilation hole. Always sleep in dry clothes. And never forget that ground insulation is more important than air insulation. Follow those rules, and a snow shelter can truly save your life someday. These aren't just fun camping tricks. This is real survival knowledge that has kept people alive in desperate situations. If you enjoyed this video and hopefully learned something useful, make sure to hit subscribe. We post new outdoor adventures every single week. And check out our winter survival playlist for more videos, just like this one. Alright, I'm gonna go thaw out properly now. See you guys next week. Stay safe out there.